to the channel. My name is Hector. I want to welcome you to the discussion. For the moment, I would like to talk about the topic of God. So let's just get this out of the way. I am a Christian and I try to live in a way to uphold Christian ideals. Um, and so growing up, I had always heard that God. So I went through a phase when I was younger, when I was a child, where you fear God and you don't want to go to hell, and you are just afraid. You're afraid to do anything bad because you could go to hell, eternal, fire, and that was the initial when I was younger, a child, maybe until I was about like 8 or 9 or so. That's all I thought. I was like, okay, so I have to do these things. I have to be nice. I have to be kind and all this because if I don't, God will be unhappy with me. And when I die, I'm going to go to hell, right? And then I grew up and I learned, well, it's not that black and white. Apparently, there are some people, if you repent, and then even if you've been bad, you can actually, go to heaven or something like that. And and then I learned about all these different religions and all this. I don't. Most people agree that there is some kind of higher power, right? Some people don't, but I'm one of those people who agree that at least there is a God. Whatever you worship, whatever it is, even if you think you don't, whatever is the most important thing in your life, in my opinion, that's your God. Whether it's pursuing your business, let's say you're an atheist, so to speak, you can't really be an atheist though because you believe in something. Everybody believes in something because whether you believe in something that's tangible that you can touch, like money, like wealth, like physical shape, like beauty, intelligence, power, whatever it is, we all put believe in something, whether it's tangible, whether it's intangible, right? It's something that's above everything else, something that you pursue more than anything else, right? So that's to me, that's your God. So, but in the Christian's God and the Christian's belief, most Christians, even now, I always hear them say that God is nice. God is nice. Because God is love, right? I'm sure you've heard that God is love, and He's kind, He's generous, He's perfect, and He's forgiving, He's merciful, right? Now, if you are a Christian and you've been told that God is nice and kind and all that, and you want to live according to Christian values and beliefs, and obviously you're going to try to be the same thing. You're going to try to be nice, you're going to try to be kind, you're going to try to be forgiving for everybody and all that. However, so what I've learned from me, right, is that God is not really nice. I don't think nice is the right word. God is not even God is, to me, God is just. God is, if you basically don't mess with him, right? Don't play around, right? If your heart is in the right place, you will be rewarded. He can be very loving. He can be extremely loving, extremely giving and generous, extremely loyal, right? He can be all these amazing things for the right people, if that makes sense. Because in the Bible, we are told how there was a flood long ago. And so, for a God who loves, who God is love and kindness and, whatever, there was a flood that he sent out that destroyed everything and every living thing, right? So that's not necessarily nice. That's more like don't cross the line. There is a line not to cross. God has standards, right? So my belief now is that if you are a Christian and you're trying to live like using um, the Christian values and beliefs, it's not that you have to be nice. It's just that you have to have standards. You have to have standards, and don't be afraid to. And what having standards mean is that there are things that I do and there are things that I don't do. So don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to stand on what you believe. Don't be afraid to make people upset when you know you are standing up for your beliefs, right? Don't be afraid to tell people that have wronged you that they have wronged you. You don't always have to be like, oh, I'm the one who's going to apologize for them even though I didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who is going to do this and this and this. No. You have to be able to say no. I have standards. You've crossed the line, and this is not okay. And therefore, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. And therefore, things you don't want to happen will happen to you, right? Because even for God, there are things that people did, and at certain times in history, He said, you know what? That's too much. Now you're going to get punished. Now, bad things that you don't want to happen to you will happen to you, right? So it's more about try to be a good person, but at the same time, don't be afraid to set lines, boundaries that nobody is allowed to cross. Okay? So to me, that's what I've learned. I've learned that being a Christian means to have standards and to be able to be strong, to be strong, right? To say no when you need to say no, even though some people might not be happy with that, right? As always, thank you very much for being here. Those were my thoughts on the idea of the qualities of God, if I could call it that, or the niceness of God, or you know, they basically answering the question: Is God nice? To which I've seen a lot where a lot of people tend to think that He's nice, and therefore, if you're a Christian, you gotta be nice, blah blah blah. No, no, He's not nice. He's just. He's righteous. You know, He's holy, but He's not nice because He will punish you when you do things you're not supposed to be doing, when you cross the line too much. And therefore, that's how we have to behave. We have to have standards. We have to have things we stand for. So, therefore, when people do things cross those lines, we have to react and be strong and don't be afraid to not necessarily punish, but show that there are consequences to negative behaviors, to the behaviors that you don't like. Whether you can choose to walk away, whether you can choose to cut those people out of your life, whatever may be, don't be afraid to do any of that in the name of, oh, well, I'm a Christian, so I'm supposed to just take it. No, you're not supposed to just take it because God surely does not operate that way. So why would you think you're supposed to operate that way? Being forgiving doesn't mean you gotta be in a situation that you don't want to be in for forever and ever in the name of you're a Christian. That's not what a Christian is, in my opinion. That's what I've learned anyway. So feel free to share. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to hear. From my first video, I started with the topic of God. I'm sure it's not gonna go well, but hey, you gotta start somewhere, and there's no better place to start than the top. So let me know what you think, and we can continue to discuss and see what we can learn. Thank you. Have a wonderful day or night or